guys ready for some more amazing speakers? I mean, that was incredible this afternoon. I've been on the Talking Dog app nonstop. Next to join us is Exit Realty's International's let me do it correctly. Next to join us is Exit Realty International's CEO. She is an internationally renowned leader in the real estate industry and was recently recognized by real estate trend watcher Stefan Swanepoel. That's a real name. Stefan Swanepoel as one of the 200 most powerful and influential people in real estate. She has also been named to the Women in the Housing and Real Estate Ecosystem Diversity and Inclusion Leadership Council. Phew! Will you please give a warm NAGLREP welcome to Tami Bonnell?
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. So today I want to talk to you about being part of the solution. Before I do that, I have a tattoo on my back that says, "Be true to yourself and you'll be able to lead others." I lost a bet. That's a story for a different day. And what I want to talk to you about is really where we are and where we're headed and where those windows of opportunity are for all of you. I want everybody to walk away with value add so that you can do your business better and better. Any of you heard about disruptors out there? So we are getting all this concern, right? There's been $12 billion over the last year spent in the real estate space on technology, 400 times as much as there was since 2010. But I want to actually kind of break that down a little bit for you, but I also want to break it down into your terms and real things that will really help you to do your business better. My text information is on there. If you just want notes from today, just bullet points, just send me a text and say, "Hey, I was here. I'd love to get the information," and I'm happy to send it to you. I won't bore you to tears with my history, but I sold my first house when I was 13. I'm 58. You can do the math. I've been in this business for a really long time, and I love this business. And there are some things about it that I think are so important for everybody to understand. And one is that change equals opportunity. And the most important thing I want you to remember out of my time with you is for you to be the solution. It is the best way for you to win regardless of what market you're in, and whether you're a broker owner, a manager, or an agent. It is the best way for you to win always is to be the solution for the person you're in front of. There are only 3 ways that you can fail. And this is as a human being, literally as a human being, as a business owner, representing your own business. There's 3 ways you can fail. The first one is not enough knowledge. Not enough market knowledge, not enough knowledge on the people that you're representing, and maybe even not enough knowledge of yourself, of what it is that you really should be representing and what it is that you should really be focusing on. So I'll break it down for you a little bit, but it's having that 30,000-foot view so you understand where trends are, so that you see where windows of opportunity are before everybody else. If we were in this room and it was 2007 and I said, "Kids, the stuff's going to hit the fan, make friends with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac," right? How many people would want to be in the room? There's a way for you to be able to do that homework all the time and to be ahead of that curve and to have that big picture for yourself. And one is having that 30,000-foot view. Paying attention to the Wall Street Journal, paying attention to websites that have an impact on the business that you represent. Really having that big picture, because anything that goes down both coasts is going to head in towards the middle. It's always going to happen that way. But then you have to have the 2,000-foot view, which is typically your own individual state, and the street-level view, which is the area that you represent, that you personally represent, and then a perspective on yourself. What are you good at? Because we're all only really good at a couple of things. So back to that 30,000-foot view, a big picture for you, and I'm going to give you a couple of places to find information and a couple of windows of opportunity that I see right now that I think are more vivid and more pronounced than ever. 30,000-foot view. Obviously, we know about first-time home buyers, right? Around with a vengeance, but housing affordability is a big issue. So from a 30,000-foot view, downpaymentassistance.com is a really important place for you to pay attention to because they have 2,400 different sources of money for down payment assistance, having the opportunity to get grants so that people can get into homes. FHA.gov. FHA in the middle of October is shifting the way that they do approvals for condos. That is actually going to open up thousands and thousands of opportunities across the country because they're loosening up on the length of time, so it'll be 3-year approvals, and they're loosening up on the amount of owner-occupied. That will help considerably with people that are first-time home buyers. You have to speak the way that they speak, and it's really important to pay attention to where they're going to be. Freddie Mac, who's in the room, freddieMac.com/Real Estate Pros, great information for you to be able to represent them to the best of your ability and also to represent repeat people. That 30,000-foot view is incredibly important. Investor business. Investor business is everywhere, and it's around all the time. It's 25% of the market, regardless of whether we're in a recession or things are going forward. And by the way, from a perspective, we've gone down about 36% on luxury across the nation, 36% on international business across the nation, but investor business has not gone down at all. So being able to represent them and being really good at math, but it's finding their lane. And I want you to remember that, finding the solution, and I'll share a couple of stories with you just to give you a perspective because I think that that's really important. But investor business will be around forever. New construction. And I'm going to give you a couple places to find new construction. Obviously, there's a shortage of inventory, but there's an awful lot of laws that are changing. And if you're at the source, if you're at the very beginning, you're going to excel. If you're at the forefront, you're going to excel. So I'm going to address that a little bit. And senior business. Senior business will be around forever. And here's the thing. The things I'm mentioning are going to be around decade after decade after decade. It's not just a small window of opportunity. It's decades. Part of my job as CEO is to be a really good forecaster, be where the puck's going to be, and to have that perspective of where things are heading. It's really important to understand exactly where that is. So new construction, really important. Senior business, even more important. It will be around long after anyone in this room is still alive. 10,000 people a day are turning 65. 10,000 people a day in the United States are turning 65, and we don't have a conversation with our parents until it's too late. Most people don't talk about money, and they don't have a conversation until somebody has to go into some sort of a facility. That's a serious problem. So a question for you. If I do something good for you, what do you want to do for me? Something good. I do something good for your mom, what do you want to do for me? Whatever I want, right? Being able to represent them to the best of your ability and being able to provide an opportunity and be able to have those crucial conversations, and you as the trusted advisor being that person is so important. There's a great book, it's called The Parent Care Solution, and it's great for having those crucial conversations with family members so that you can actually be the solution. Give them exactly what they want. If they want to stay until they transition, give them that opportunity. You'll get a ridiculous amount of referral business. So I find out the 30,000-foot view, and then I need the 2,000-foot view and the street-level view. There's going to be a couple things I say today that if you listen to nothing else I say, please listen to that. I have broken 7 world records in sales in my lifetime, and there's nothing... Oh, boy! That and about $5, depending on where you are, will get you a cup of coffee. But the reality is I'm no different than anyone else. It's just being that systematic person that focuses on the solution, that focuses on where it is that you need to be in order to provide added value to the person that you're in front of. Because a consumer's sitting there saying, what's in it for me? We hear nonstop about disruptors and people lighting money on fire. And I want to give you 2 things about that I think are so important. Number 1, the consumer, and that's the person we should be listening to, 90% of them want a trusted advisor. That number hasn't changed, by the way. It hasn't changed since the 50s. 90% want a trusted advisor. Next, they want transparency. So they want to see what's happening, and so you need to be able to share that information and let them see what's happening in real time. And they want speed. That's what the consumer wants. There will always be 10% of the business that's done outside. There'll always be investors and contractors and developers that are going to come into this business and be the other 10%. I don't care whether it's We Buy Ugly Houses or people that literally put signs on trees or whatever happens that's out there, or it's tech companies. There will always be that 10% out there because they buy enough in enough volume so that they can actually, I see this, an awful lot of this as a dot-com bubble, but that 10%, they see an opportunity. It doesn't matter what outfit they're wearing or that it's changed into more technology, it's gonna be that 10%. And there's two reasons for that. One, and if it even goes in a little bit more, think about what your own personal investment will be. You end up being worth 45 times more than the average person that rents. It's a big investment. That's number one. But then there's another structure that you've got to look at, and that is that we have opportunities where we spend a high dollar or a low dollar, and then where we have high return and low return. High dollar, real estate, yachts, luxury boats, those kind of things that happen very seldom in your lifetime. The average person is moving about once every 9 years across the country. And high dollar. Everything that is low dollar and happens frequently, think of Amazon, right? Books, clothes, shoes, anything you want to buy, you'll buy that rapidly and you'll buy it online. But those big ticket items where you want an advice, a financial advisor, a real estate professional that is a trusted advisor, those things that happen very rarely, believe it or not, a divorce attorney, those things are in that low frequency and low frequency and high dollar amount. So I don't see that shifting dramatically. What's got to shift dramatically is our professionalism and the value we bring to the table. This is the first time I've witnessed in my lifetime that I honestly see that we will have fewer realtors for the first time. And it won't be the people that are true professionals and that are doing their homework. It'll be the people that are only doing 1 or 2 transactions or none. Those people will be eliminated because the transparency will make it so that everybody can see that's there. And that will be good for the business. It will make people that are serious do more business, and it will make the industry have a better raised bar. That's a good picture, right? So now let's go back to the 2,000-foot view and the street level view. There's a couple things I'm going to say today, and here's one of them. You want to find a dirty dozen, a dozen people that work on the business, not in it. Appraisers, home inspectors, mortgage companies, insurance companies, people that you can connect with on a regular basis and say, hey, tell me all the changes that happened in the mortgage industry last year. Tell me all the things that are coming down the pike so that I'm aware of where there's a window of opportunity, that maybe I can pull 5 of these first-time home buyers off the shelf. Maybe my people can pull off those opportunities. I want to add value to your life. Forget me blackmailing you and asking you what you're going to bring for food. Let's actually help serve the consumer better. And you build a network and you add value to their life. You add value to their life, they're going to add value to yours. And I'm going to give you a caveat. 2 of those places that you really want to pay attention to right now, one is mortgages, just like I mentioned with FHA changing. There's a lot of things that are going to be changing with FHA. There's a lot of things that are going to be changing with VA. There's a lot of things that are going to be changing with sources, and you want to be there firsthand, close to it. Right now, there are 7 million people in the United States that are 90 days or worse behind on their car payment. What do you think's happening next? So paying attention and being close to those people and actually having the inside scoop is an important thing. You get to be the trusted advisor because you have actual, real, tangible information that's going on currently today. Aside from that, make sure you're tied to somebody that's tied to the planning board or your local municipality. People that are going to approve the changes for any type of construction, because it is so important. It is so important. We're going to change zoning laws all over the place. We've witnessed people able to add a rental property into their own yards, right? In several states already, they've allowed that to happen so that it's helping people with affordability, and it's helping people when they come in to buy to have an opportunity. But there are an amazing number of shifts, and if you're close to them, you're going to know ahead of time. I'll give you a ridiculous example. I live in a town there that there was only 9,000 people. It's a real small town in New England. If you haven't picked up on my accent yet, give me a glass of wine later. I'll sound just like a Kennedy. So when in the marketplace that I live in, old farms, 1890s farmhouses, right? Really big old farmhouses, big farms, apple orchards. And they changed a law about 20 years ago. Somebody came in that I'd have a less than a stellar word for, but a non-professional into the planning board, and they changed a law and made it so that anything under 2,000 square feet, actually anything over 800 square feet, sorry, I apologize. Anything over 800 square feet was considered a two-family, and it lowered the values of the properties by about $250,000 apiece. They changed the law 3 weeks ago, so now it's over 2,000 square feet, and it impacted 500 homes in the community. So I told one of our agents that represents that area, go have a conversation with all those people. It's mostly aging people that own these big old farms, and they got 49 listings in 5 days because they were in the front side. Makes sense, right? I have a girlfriend. Her name is Gina Maria Louisa de Benedictus. She is not quite as Irish as me. This is my savage tan. I know I have to smile so you can find me. And she told me, because of watching HGTV, she wanted to invest and she wanted to buy a fix and flip. But what you don't know about Gina is that Gina is never painted her own fingernails, never done her own hair. Someone else grocery shops for her and puts the stuff in her fridge. Someone else mows her lawn, and someone else cleans her house. So how do you think she's going to do on fixing and flipping? Pretty good? But if she went with somebody that wasn't a trusted advisor and wasn't a true professional, they would let her buy that property. And I can tell you 90 days later, she'd be in a fetal position on the kitchen floor trying to nail linoleum, right? So I asked her enough effective questions. Why do you want to do this? I want to leave a legacy. She is completely prepared for retirement. I want to leave a legacy. I really want to have a future tense. So we had more and more conversations. Tell me more. I want to leave something for my children. I want to have so much cash flow that I'm really comfortable. And so we figured out, she lives in a town in New Hampshire that is the best for public school systems in the entire state. And about half the people get divorced, and they move into condos because they can now only afford to rent, because it's an expensive community too. And they rent condos so that they can keep their kids in the same school and so that they can co-parent together. Longest story short, I had that conversation with her 3 years ago, said buy as many condos as you can, here's the ones that are worth it. And she owns 40 condos that she's $400 a month up on. Is that a good solution? You can do multiples with all the people that you're dealing with just by being ahead of that curve, by knowing where those windows of opportunity are, and by asking those right effective questions. So that 2,000-foot view and that street-level view, that is that dirty dozen. Priceless. I've used it my entire life. I promise you it works. And you can think of it in every circumstance that you're dealing with. How long do you plan on living there? When do you plan on retiring? Tell me your dreams. If you could wave a magic wand, what would you have for real estate? Find out. You're in front of them. Find out what their dreams are. Be their dream maker. If you are, no one is going to be able to touch that business. No one will ever be able to do more. It won't happen. So what's 40 times 400 times 12? By the way, next year she'll have all of them paid off. Nice story, right? But you can do the same thing with everyone, because there's all of these people that have an interest. It just has to be what's right for them. And that goes back to you. So the next piece of the puzzle is understanding yourself. We're all only really good at a couple things. We have a lane we're really good at. If you're really good at math and you really love investing and you love that kind of magic, then investor business is probably a great lane for you to go down, right? It's finding a lane that you can fit, that you can do better than anybody else, so that you know everyone's going to be, no, that's the expert. You've got to have a conversation with them. They're unbelievable. I know how to make money. I know how to show people how to make money. I can speak okay, but nobody's going to ever ask me to fix their computer. It's not going to happen. I just buy another one every time something goes wrong, and I donate it to a school, right? This thing is broken. You have to do what it is that's in your lane. So ask yourself the effective questions. If you could wave a magic wand, who would you like to represent? What would you like to do? And go back to asking them effective questions. Back to that. Having a 6-week action plan. Second thing I'll mention that will work. I've coached probably about 20% of the top 500 power brokers in the nation, and I can tell you this is the one thing they come back to me all the time. Work on your business, not in it. For you to be the solution, for you to stay ahead of the curve, for you to know exactly what's going on and have all those views and have that perspective, you need to go in and do a 6-week action plan. Book off 4 hours. Pick a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, halfway through the month, and work on your business, not in it. Include your life so that you can have a better quality of life, so that you have a great work-life balance, as good as you can in this industry, right? But include everything. Put together, what am I going to do for marketing and public relations? Who am I representing? What's going on with my Dirty Dozen? What's going on with all my present clients? What's going on with all my past clients? Book off 4 hours to work on your business, not in it, but work on your life too. What do I have happening the next 6 weeks? Always pick halfway through the month. Book in advance for the next 6 weeks so that you can actually overlap and do it again next month and the month after. So I do it the 15th of this month, and then November 30th, I do it out till, and November 15th, I book until December 31st, and I plan in advance. Where am I going? Who should I bring with me? Who should I be sharing this information with? Who should I be calling? Who should I be connecting with? How can I make it more personal? What should I be reading? What should I be learning? But if you do that, I promise you, your whole life will change. People will think you had something done. You look different because you will be in control. And that being in control of your life and being in control of your business will change everything. I promise you, it will change everything. There's a running joke in my house that I can wrap a present. My husband and I, he's one of 9 kids, I'm one of 6. We have 54 nephews and nieces, kids, grandkids, the total zoo. I can wrap a present, drive a standard, and put on pantyhose at the same time, but I shouldn't know that, right? But when you plan in advance, and you can really plan, how do I want that person to feel? What kind of magic do I want to have happen today? And I'm telling you, in your personal life and in your business life, what kind of magic do I want to have today? How can I be the solution for this person that's struggling financially? How can I be the solution for this person that just lost their significant other? How can I make it so personal that they are going to feel like they can trust me with absolutely anything? The more you do it, the closer your relationships will get, the more in control of your business you'll get, and the more in control of your entire life. Finally, just for you, for your perspective, I want you to think from this point on, your life and your business is in your windshield. I don't care what kind of car you drive. I have a need for speed, but whatever kind of car you drive, your entire life is in your windshield. The competition is in your rearview mirror, and I don't mean that derogatorily. I don't mean anything to say anything that's negative in that direction, because we want to have competition. It gets us out of bed in the morning, and it makes us pay attention. It makes us do a better job. But I don't want to hit any blind spots. I want to know what they're doing, but I'm not going to focus on them because I get what I focus on, and I'm going to give more power to them. I want to focus on what it is I'm doing and what I'm building and what I know is going to make a real big difference in people's lives. I hope it helps. Thanks. Have a great rest of the convention.
This is wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Give it up for Tami. Tami, can you just run my life? Can you just live with me for like 6 weeks and see what happens? That's all verifiable results. Tami and I have a lot in common. I can also gift wrap a present, drive a standard, and put on pantyhose at the same time. So that's what I learned in Catholic school. So,